It has been widely noted that online education is becoming a part of the mainstream in higher education. With the development of new media and technology, distance education has improved in efficiency and has helped increase enrollment rates worldwide. This documentary will look at how distance education has in fact increased enrollment rates, which translates into increased profits for the institution. While there are many definitions of distance education, for the purposes of this documentary, we will go with one cited by Holmberg. According to Holmberg, distance education includes the various forms of study at all levels which are not under the continuous immediate supervision of tutors present with their students in lecture rooms or on the same premises, but which, nevertheless, benefit from the planning, guidance, and tuition of tutorial organization. By this, Holmberg simply means to say that distance education is any form of education provided by an organization where the student is not supervised by a tutor within a lecture room or on the same premise. Although to many of us, distance education seems to be a new phenomenon, according to the article The Explosion of Distance Education, published in the Higher Education Report in 2002, correspondence studies began in the late 1800s and has been a part of many institutions since the early 1900s. According to James Hall, distance education is the fastest growing instructional pattern in the world, which makes it an interesting phenomenon to study. So let's see how it has spread through education institutions everywhere. Thanks to new forms of technology, distance education has evolved since correspondence methods, which typically consisted of essays and tests being physically mailed to and from instructor and student. According to the Higher Education Report, with the development of the Internet, there became the growing notion that education did not need to be site or time bound. It is clear that this idea has plenty of rationale behind it if we consider that the theory of distance education began during the 1980s and the World Wide Web was developed in 1989. John McGalley addresses the issues that new media has helped overcome in distance education by saying, distance education methods have acquired a level of cost-effectiveness that provides teachers and students with a broad selection of methods for overcoming the obstacles of time, place, and pace, while also engaging one another in direct interaction. Without the help of new media, distance education would not be where it is today. Although many do not believe in the effectiveness of distance education, there have been many studies which prove this theory wrong. In a recent article titled Live versus Distance Learning, Measuring the Difference, published in the New York Times, journalist Trix Gabriel uses an analysis of 99 studies by the Federal Department of Education to support distance education. The United States Department of Education concluded that in 2009, online instruction was on average more effective than face-to-face learning. Now it is clear to us why many students may choose to take online courses, but many of us may still wonder why universities choose to go through the effort of administrating these classes. From an economic perspective, the reason is clear. Online courses increase the amount of people the university is able to reach. By reaching a broader audience, the university's enrollment increases, and in turn their profit increases as well. According to Daniel Edge and John Loshern in the article Distance Education, Expanding Learning Opportunities, there has been recent interest growing among administrators in distance education as a means to increase enrollment, improve service, and make more efficient use of internal resources. In the article, Impact of Theories of Distance Education on Teaching Learning Process, Mohammed Manzoor Malik and Ramin Fazlur explain that distance education is becoming a cost-effective type of education with the use of many new media systems, which compares favorably with conventional studies. The demand for a college or university education is still continuing to increase, even though many institutions are unable to expand their facilities to accommodate this. With the help of new media technologies, online instruction has allowed education institutions to provide education to everyone, even without the proper facilities. Simon Lee and Rajiv Gupta report that student enrollment in distance education courses went from 754,000 in 1995 to 1.6 million in 1998, and over 3 million students enrolled in distance courses in the 2000 to 2001 academic year. These dramatic increases translate easily into profit for the universities and colleges worldwide. Distance education gives universities and colleges the ability to decentralize education and offer courses through the region or country, which increases the university's student base. The impact of a distance education program on enrollment patterns was published by the Journal of Education for Library and Information Science in 1987. The study was conducted for the College of Library and Information Science at the University of South Carolina. The findings provide an analysis of the impact on overall enrollment and non-traditional student enrollment. While many studies of distance education look at the how rather than the why, this study looks specifically at the why, and has found the main reason that universities offer distance education courses is to increase their overall enrollment at the school, which in turn increases their profits. First, we will note that the use of open and closed circuit broadcasts for distance education were first used by the institution in 1982, and now we can look at how implementing these forms of distance education affected the enrollment levels at this school.
This table shows the enrollment in distance education from summer 1980 to spring 1987. If we look at the third column, which shows the distance enrollment total, there is a steady increase over these few short years and is estimated to hit a total of 43% of students being enrolled in a distance education course in 1987.
Now we will look at a more recent survey that shows enrollment rates in online courses. The 2010 Sloan Survey of Online Learning surveyed more than 2,500 colleges and universities nationwide and found approximately 5.6 million students are enrolled in at least one online course in the fall of 2009. Elaine Allen, study co-author, says, "This represents the largest ever year-to-year increase in the number of students studying online. This shows us that enrollment rates are still increasing as quickly as ever." Allen says that nearly 30% of all college and university students take at least one course online. According to the study, online enrollments have been growing substantially faster than overall education enrollment. The growth rate for online enrollment is currently 21%, which far exceeds the less than 2% growth of the overall higher education student population.
The graph here shows the dramatic increase in online enrollment since 2002 in comparison with that of the overall enrollment in higher education.
The Sloan study reports that 63% of the institution's studies said online learning is a critical part of their institution's long-term strategy, which is a small increase from the 59% who agreed with this statement in 2009. The year-to-year change was greatest among for-profit institutions, which increased from 51% agreeing in 2009 to 61% in 2010. This change shows the importance that online education has for the institution's income.
This graph shows the fact that the amount of for-profit institutions saw a bigger increase in the amount of people agreeing with this statement from 2009 to 2010 than did the non-profit institutions.
So for those of us who take the time to think about the advantages of distance education, it is easy to see why it is so beneficial for education institutions. Perhaps it is added work to be able to provide the course material online, but the benefits in this case far outweigh the costs. Being able to provide material to students online is the easiest way for universities or colleges to expand their audience and increase their revenue.